apparently there's all these issues with like biblical translations as they're trying to translate it in like the 20th century to all these different cultures. And when they're putting in their native tongue, like there's one specific that I remember. I did this field trip to Wycliffe, and it's a Bible translator in Florida. Have you heard of it? I don't know.
Yeah.
And one of the things in like this one specific tribal culture in Africa, there's this idea of Jesus knocking on the heart. But in that culture, thieves knock. And so they're like, okay, we can't make it knocking because then they're going to think Jesus is a thief.
Yeah.
And so what they did is like they would cough or something like that. They would like clear their throat to indicate that there was someone on the other side of their hut. And so they had to translate it to Jesus coughs at the door of the heart or something to that effect.
Yeah.
And that when you're translating things, you have to be super specific to the culture that you're translating to.
So this is the difference between what's called a formal equivalence translation and a dynamic equivalent translation.
Yeah, this is a dynamic equivalent translation.
Yeah, so dynamic is like the thought for thought idea, right? So in the Gospel of Luke, in the Greek, there's this line where Jesus says, let these words sink into your ears. Right? That's exactly what Jesus says. Let these words sink into your ears. So if you have a dynamic equivalence like the New International Version of the Bible in English, they're going to say, listen carefully to what I'm about to say. Because that's what that means. But that's not what Jesus said, right? So whereas the New American Standard Bible, the NASB, is more of a formal equivalence, they're literally going to say, let these words sink into your ears, because that's the words that Jesus spoke. So it's the question of because people always ask me, like, what's the best translation?
Yeah.
And I don't know the answer to that. Like, the best Bible is the one you're going to read. So just figure out the one that you're going to read and then read it.